for an hour and I'll be right back. And I was like, what are you going to do? I'm like, you'll find out. And so I just ran up to random people and I go, hi, I've been engaged by the company. Can you tell me what your strategy is? No. Can you tell me who your customer is or who your future customer is? No. Do you know what you do today, how it ties back into what the company's doing? No idea. I just do what my manager tells me to do. And I heard this over and over again across multiple divisions, multiple places. So, again, it's a really simple test. Do people really know why you're here? What are you trying to accomplish and what their role is in it? And are you really helping them be successful rather than just give these big pictures, enabling all of the managers throughout the various levels to know how to orient and to focus people on the right actions to take in order to achieve that objective? That's alignment. That's awareness. And it takes a lot of work to make sure all those details are lined up. Because it's easy to say, hey, our number one goal is to drive revenues, top line revenues to these customers. Well, how does a frontline person know how to execute on that? How does it roll up into and them knowing that this is how I'm contributing to that objective? So I keep going back to the most disruptive companies have actually a lot of order. They have a lot of structure. They have a lot of processes, good processes in place to help people understand what that strategy is, who their customer is, and how to act when they see one of those customers. They're actually, and when they have that order, they're able to move really fast and be highly disruptive because they don't have none of their energy and their attention is distracted on just trying to figure out what's going on. They all know what's going on, and they can focus all of that energy on that future customer.
Cool. Is there any companies that come to mind there that are top the list of being someone that's viewed as disruptive, but in reality are actually highly organized?
I'm sorry, that look disruptive but are highly organized?
As disruptive, but in actuality, they are super organized. Maybe something you wouldn't even think of.
Well, the usual suspects like Amazon and Facebook, Google, and places like that, they're actually extremely well organized. Amazon in particular is extremely well organized. And I think more than anything else, what people don't realize is that they're able to be highly disruptive and continue to disrupt, even though they're huge companies, because of the operating system they have that reinforces this view of the customer. Now, you can talk to anybody who's there and they'll be like, oh, like all the things that are wrong with our company, but they're doing a lot of things right too.
Yeah.
But I think when you're at that level of disruption, and one thing to note, I don't think disruption is an absolute. It's not on and off. It's actually a gradation. And you could even put it on a scale of 1 to 10. And every person in every company will put themselves somewhere in that continuum. And it's not about being a 10. Because if you're a 3, then if they're in an industry or an organization where everyone else is a 1 or 2, you look highly disruptive. But you could be an 8. But if your industry and company are at 9s and 10s, you're like a laggard. So it's highly relative.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a 10 to drive a lot of growth when everybody else in the industry is like moving at much slower paces.
Cool. Speaking of Amazon, they're certainly one of the top research things that JumpShot is getting, as you know, Amazon versus Google, where do the product searches are now starting. We're finding Amazon. And actually, Steve Krause wrote this story around the fading brand of Google that might end up as an AOL recently. I thought it was really good. But I just wanted your take on that specifically, Google versus Amazon, and what you think is going on there.
Well, again, I think for product search in particular, especially if you're a Prime member, like why even bother going to Google when I'm going to see these own products that I can't buy on Amazon? My default is to go to Amazon because presumably they have everything at the lowest cost, which is not necessarily true. And what I think is happening is Google is sliding back by just making it a lot easier to find different types of products to emphasize that you might get actually a better deal or better options if you're not on Amazon. And in particular, they're doing some really interesting things, partnering with everybody else who's trying to take on Amazon. The other retailers with brick and mortar stores like Target, Walmart, Costco. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really smart idea because Amazon, even though they're really big, is actually a small slice